If I remember correctly, Meghan Markle said that she was such a mom, that was her first role in life, was to be a mom. That I mean, to the point that as soon as her kids leave the bedroom, she needs to email them or to go over the pictures that she's missing because she misses them so much just because they left her side for 3 seconds. So, shocking admission in her podcast about motherhood. And are we really surprised? I told you so. And it kind of reminds me when Kim Kardashian, because she did have preeclampsia. We could see how swollen that woman was. She couldn't have children. She couldn't carry the children. So she hired the services of a surrogate, right? And she was worried. She was very honest and said, I am just worried. I am not going to bond with my child that much. Is this what's happening with Meghan Markle? Or is she really her mother's daughter? Because let's not forget Doria the felon. She is not a mother. She bailed when Meghan was 4 years old. And then she showed up when Meghan was like 16, 17. So let's get into this because it is quite a few shocking revelations. And also how now I know why she had this woman on her latest podcast, because this is a woman who basically lies for her in this absolutely twisted narrative.
When I'm traveling, if I can't do bedtime stories with my kids, because Archie and Lily are just 3 and 5, so I'll always pack a really thin book and I'll videotape myself reading it. So whoever's with them, or Papa can say, here's Mama reading your bedtime story.
But before we do, thank you for coming to my channel. Please don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. It really does help the channel. To the new subscribers, thank you very much for coming here, guys. And to the ones that have been following me since Norway, thank you. I always appreciate you. Thanks for the super chats, the PayPal donations to the shelter, and basically mostly for being here, guys. Isn't it amazing? We're going to get into quite a lot of things right now. But isn't it amazing how Princess Catherine showed up at the garden party at Buckingham Palace? I mean, she is a lady. I even feel bad calling her a woman because she is a lady. You know, the way she dresses, the way she carries herself, the way she cares. And Prince William, still my beating heart. That man gets better and better with time. And I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. He's just gorgeous looking guy, you know? I mean, tall, beautiful man. So there was such a beautiful vibe there during that garden party. I just thought I'd mention it because just like we talk about Rachel Meghan, the skunk liar, we also appreciate the good royals we have working and representing us, because for those of you who don't know, I am Canadian. So before we get into this, we're going to talk a little bit about just this huge lie that Meghan Markle, you're going to hear, and I'm sorry you're going to have to hear her words, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. If I suffer, you suffer. That's how we do it here. Right, City? Yeah. By the way, those of you who don't know, City is my producer. So yeah, she supervises everything, and I mentioned her name, and now she comes here. Yeah, she wants to say hello and to make sure that I'm doing my job, to keep her to the style she's become accustomed. So let's look at what little Meghan Markle had to say this time.
And you coming to my little house that I was renting. Honestly, it was also, and this is pre-suits for me, this is really early days when I was auditioning. It was a vision board of a different kind. What year are we talking about when we met?
So that would have been 16 years ago. So 2009. Wow. 2009, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just heard right. That isn't the podcast. This is the podcast that Meghan Markle had with the kitsch woman. Apparently, they go back 19 years or 16 years, since 2009. So you guys know, Meghan Markle, that is a complete fabrication. Trevor Engelson had already met City. Trevor Engelson, Meghan Markle, literally, when she met Trevor Engelson, within a month, she was living with him. And let me tell you what the house was how they described the house that he was renting before they got married. Because when they got married, he rented a house that is now in the market for $1.8 million. Yeah. So the house that they were living in 2009 is described as a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom colonial style home in Los Angeles, specifically in the Hancock Park neighborhood. The home, which was built in 1924, features a bright and airy open floor plan with a living and dining area and a patio that can be opened up to create indoor and outdoor living. The kitchen has clean white cabinets and marble countertops. The home has natural hardwood flooring throughout, and 2 of the 4 bedrooms have en-suite bathrooms. The spacious backyard is well maintained and could be used for outdoor gatherings. Yeah, that's the house that Meghan Markle lived when she was in 2009 with Trevor Engelson. So she wasn't renting a house, a little house. She was living with Trevor Engelson. By the way, in 2009, Trevor Engelson did the movie. He produced the movie Remember Me with Robert Pattinson, which was huge. Pierce Brosnan. And this is in 2009. And then before that, they went to Jamaica with Mandy Moore because he also produced a movie called License to Wed, with Robin Williams, Mandy Moore, Jennifer Garner, I can't remember, and a bunch of other people. And they were literally living in Jamaica because Mandy Moore had gone on record to say that this is when Meghan Markle loved Jamaica and got married in Jamaica because they were there for quite a long time. So the fact that this woman is willing to go along the line and say, oh, by the way, oh, my closet was so little, I was renting a home. I mean, at this point in time, does she not think that we're going to check it out? It's very easy to figure out where she lived when they were in 2009 with Trevor Engelson. So I don't know what she's talking about. And why does she have to lie like that? Bad liar, Meghan Markle. You are a terrible, terrible liar.
And I've always wanted to be a mom. Before I was a mom, I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to give a speech with a baby on my hip. I had a whole vision. I was like, I'm just going to. And then you fast forward. Granted, I had a lot of external things happening by the time I had both pregnancies and both babies, but it was not the way I envisioned it.
It is insane. And it basically corroborates everything we've been saying because there's not one motherly bone in this woman's body at all. At least not for me. No, I don't believe that. Meghan Markle is talking to this woman who was basically married. She's starting from scratch. She does not have the platform that Meghan Markle had. And Meghan talks about, before you made it big, like before she made it big. Well, how did you make it big, Meghan Markle? Could it have anything to do with the fact that you married that idiot Harry? Because before then, nobody knew who you were. Nobody cared to know who you were. So, but she doesn't say how she made it big because it's not the same that this woman who was starting from scratch with no outside financing is talking about motherhood, how overwhelmed she was. And of course, Meghan has to make it about herself there, doesn't she? She has to say, yeah, I too was overwhelmed. Motherhood is not what I thought it was going to be. I would have expected this woman to say, oh, I understand where you're coming from. Thankfully, I it's not how I thought it was going to be because it turned out to be more awesome because I could not love my children anymore. They're the ones who guide me through. They're the ones for the reason why I do it for. But no. So Meghan Markle fails to mention that the reason why she's starting a business. And by the way, it's failed because she's failed. As ever, it's failed. She's not selling anything. It's bad reviews. And she has Netflix. Unlike this woman, she has Netflix. And the reason, and it's really shocking to me that she sounds shocked that this woman doesn't have investors. She goes, oh my God, really? Because Meghan Markle, of course, she's not ponying up any of her money. I don't know who's ponying up the money for her because it's not Netflix. Netflix has already said they're a passive investor. But the part here is how Meghan Markle says that motherhood is not what she thought it was going to be, but in a bitter way. But Meghan Markle, to say that mother is not what it's going to be, and the way she doesn't elaborate or talk about her children, is this why she looks so uncomfortable around Archie? Because I don't know if you know this, guys, but that was a Meghan Markle audition. It was supposed to be her reading to Archie. But you can clearly see how uncomfortable that child is with Meghan Markle, how he lacks any connection to this woman. None. And to her, children are props. It's uncomfortable to watch. It's uncomfortable. There's nothing around her. What kind of mother's writing email to their kids instead of recording memories? Could it be because she's not around the kids often enough to record those memories? That's the only reason that comes to mind. You're around your children, you're recording those memories. Oh, I saw you do this. But write emails. That implies a distance. That implies you're not around your children. And she confirmed that when she went on the Drew Barrymore. And she says that whenever she's away, and she always takes with her that very thin pad, and she writes stories, and whoever. She didn't even say, and when the nanny or her pop, she immediately corrected herself because she's not around these children. And this is one of the things that we have come to confirm, because these children are completely isolated. No woman who loves a child would isolate a child from the entire family, their history, and use them like that. But for her to come on a podcast and try to make it as though it's overwhelming for her. It was so overwhelming. What was overwhelming? She wants to compare herself to Princess Diana, but she doesn't want to take it that far, because you see, Princess Diana did carry those children. And she had a lot of problems because Charles was cheating on her. She was incredibly young. And the most thing that ate Princess Diana up was that the fact that she lacked any support from her husband, from the entire royal family. But the royal family have learned. They said, no, you don't have to hit the ground running. Form your family, get some time and spend some time together. But no, Meghan wanted to hit the ground running so she can run as fast as she could with the title back to the United States, because that was her plan all along. And the children are just security for her. So why aren't people surprised about this? It doesn't surprise me. It actually makes me fearful for those children. But Meghan Markle, first, could it be that, to me, it confirms it even more, that she has zero connection, because the way she talked about it in that podcast was absolutely detached. You can almost sense the resentment and the anger to the fact that, she has to have those children, even though she didn't carry them, but they're like a burden to her. It's shocking. It's shocking how she has used this child. You can see that there's not one motherly bone in her body. Not one. I do believe they're children. I've always said this in my channel, but I am absolutely convinced Meghan Markle did not carry them. And I know many of you say, so what does that matter? It matters because, guys, if she didn't carry the children and she lied, and Harry lied, because then they both lied, then those children cannot be in the line of succession. So that's committing fraud. That's committing a crime. And that's not speaking bad against the children. It's just a fact. So please do let me know if we were right all along. Do you think that Meghan Markle used a surrogate? Do you think that Meghan Markle, in her podcast, we can see the resentment? We can see how, she considers in her head that, okay, I'm done with this. I don't have to be a mother anymore. She said it quite a few times. She's in her concert area. She's sprinkling flowers everywhere. She's a failed D-list mattress actress. She's a failed entrepreneur. With all the platform, with all the access that the royal family platform gave her, she still failed. Isn't that something, guys? And I feel sorry for those children. I really do. Please do let me know what you think.